Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, getting those points is going to be massive for Reply Totem if they can make it. 93% of you guys at home going with Reply Totem. I mean, I get the sentiment, right? Reply Totem is a favorite, but the actuality is a little bit different than that, though, right? Like, Humble is a very solid team. And we saw how much damage they can do to teams that get a bit careless, teams that get impatient, or that maybe felt like they already won. They'll punish that. And I feel like Reply Totem is the kind of team that sometimes can get a little bit overconfident too.
I think so too. We see Bonnie coming in as the first pick. Humble are going to return that with the 8-bit. And another one should be coming up shortly as well. But I like the picks so far. They're going to go with the Bell, doubling down on that range, which is the smart approach into that Bonnie, I'd imagine. You know, with how slow she is. Obviously, 8-bit's going to be slow as well, but Bell should be able to connect a good few shots. And we've got the Cordelius, Colette, and Brock bands from the side of Humble. Over Reply Totem side, the Carl, Colette, and the Grom as well. Shelly sneak through, and Reply Totem pick it up.
Shelly's an interesting one because it's in a really good place. Okay, it's going to be paired with that Sam. Just take the counter out for the Sam as well. This is a wild comp from Reply Totem, but I wouldn't expect any less from them, really. I'm not sure what to think of it because we did see some Shelly action already today, but it wasn't necessarily the most convincing either. It's a brawler that can still get countered, can still be kept at bay and at range, especially once the walls are opened up a bit more. And there's already not the most walls on this map in the first place. They'll go Griff, which is going to be a great anti-tank, and also have that ability to open up those couple walls. He really just needs 3, right? The top one, the right one, and the left side, and they should be fine, really. But it's still I mean, it's always going to be a big threat when you have a Sam and a Shelly on the same team.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they can keep them at range, they should be all right. They're going to need constant marks, constant DPS coming out of 8-bit and Griff. And I feel like they just need to get the kills rather than focusing on getting the damage and just try pin them in spawn. And just play the long game rather than the explosive DPS like you usually would.
Yeah, I feel like on paper, Humble, they have the comp to deal with them, but in practice so far, they're just not quite hitting all the shots they should have, and they are being punished for it quite a bit. 5% damage on safe, make it 10 now. It's a decent amount for a very early game lead, and so far, they have yet to really get them out of position. Joker getting a little bit more damage, really just being a distraction to let Maori get some more connections onto that safe, and connections he will find as it is all the way down to 56% now already. Humble have yet to hit their safe, and this is kind of going to be the strategy from Reply Totem. Just spam die, I guess, and go all in, create some space, eat up that ammo, and in the meantime get some damage on safe, and so far it's working.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't blame them for either. Still a gadget there as well. Almost got it off in time, but Maru's got this super available. He's going to be low, though, and now this is where Humble need to start getting damage on. But Maury's got this super and just keeping pressure in there. 9% was all that they managed to get off that big 8-bit turret coming through, and also the follow-up behind it. But really, not a lot done by Humble and Reply Totem. As you say, the respawn cycling out just all the way through this game, and it's working an absolute treat.
Maori and Loki up close, but the wall separating them. The jump from Maori is not quite going to make it far enough. Doesn't find any value off it. Tumsy is low, though. And as Joker does end up going down, it's going to be some extra damage on save from Maru. A big lead percentage-wise. It's looking better and better, though, on the side of Humble. Even though they've taken a good bit of damage, they're building up more and more control. That's because all those gadgets, the clay pigeons especially, have ran out, and it's a bit harder for Reply Totem to get in range and be as threatening as they were in the early parts of that game. The problem is, damage has been done. Is it going to be enough to keep them in the lead, or is Humble going to be able to pull a bit of a comeback here?
This is going to be risky now for Reply Totem. Damage should start raining down. Maury's going to tank quite a lot of it with his invulnerability there, but no 8-bits were available just yet, and they're going to need it to get the damage done. Sam's going to have the super back once again, just moving up bit by bit. Super comes out from Griff there, gets a lot of damage on all of them, maybe even cycled it. I believe he did, but he actually went down. Just 8-bit surviving now, and regardless of all the control they got at the end, it was not the ending they wanted. Reply to
3. So I would not be surprised to see them play better and actually be able to pick up this next game.
well. They need to get a bit of a better start and not have them dying one by one, but it seems that that's exactly what's going to happen. Just now delaying, waiting for the Sam to come back up, and with Maru on this right-hand side, it's tough for them to really move up, and Joker instantly back up already. Little piggy bank coming down on the left-hand side, breaking up some of those walls, and couldn't have really come any sooner considering what they're faced with.
Yeah, so far, it's still barely even, but the map control is going to be favoring Reply Totem. Joker does go down, creating a little bit of an opening. They've not taken nearly as much damage on the save compared to how much damage they took in game 1. So, by comparison, it is looking better for Humble than in game number 1. Marie does jump on save, gets a little bit of damage done. Luki and Cyclone are able to retain some of that mid control, and things are starting to look better on their side.
Yeah, this is much, much better for Humble now. Cyclone just surviving out there, narrowly avoiding that shot from Mori coming through. But Joker once again returning, and Clay Pigeon being popped. Still another one in the tank as well for Maru. Gadget comes out of Joker, but a great super coming out of the Griff. But jump in from Mori. Joker and Maru are going to join him here as well. Super onto the save, and he gets both of them in it as well and cycles it out. That's a lot of damage added on, similar to what we saw in the last game. But can Humble cling on and get some damage down on the other side?
Maru in with a little bit of a flank on the right-hand side. Super from Luki, but he gets pulled by Joker. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Maru is marked, however. He goes down. Mari able to get that trade off, but at the end of the day, it is Reply Totem that's going to be happy to get those trades because they eat up so much ammo every time. And so far with this big of a lead, they don't mind just playing for a bit of a stalemate and let the clock decide the winner, because that would definitely be looking much better in their favor.
Yeah, Super comes out of Griff, but still only 7% del, another 3% added on by Cyclone, but this turret's not high enough up. Tomsy needs to get this kill on Joker quick and move it forwards. Mori's there though, and he's surely going to be able to take quite a lot of it down. Going to put it up in this corner now as well. Maru's sliding up, Griff Super going to be used, but 9 seconds on the clock. I mean, what can they do here really? They can rain down all the damage they want, but it's not going to mean anything. Reply Totem take the first set, and Humble fall short.
Well played by Reply Totem. Really well played. It was an interesting draft on their end, but we definitely...
And he didn't even have the most kills either, that's the thing, so... A good all-round performance from Humble, but it just doesn't matter. Like, if they're just respawn cycling and getting the damage on safe and you're not, you're going to lose. Bit more objective focus though, Gem Grab, and you can turn the game around with something like a Gene Pull, Tara Pull, something like that. So maybe a bit less control needed for Humble if they go something along those lines, but we will be on Crystal Arcade. And I do like this map. We've seen quite a good amount of games on this, and the comps on this, they didn't really seem too normal. We'll see if they come and slide back into what we're used to. The Ruffs is coming out yet again from a Reply Totem here. I do like that Ruffs pick. The Shelly, the Squeak, and the Cordelius are there from Humble. Stu going to be the first pick of Humble as well. I do like that pick. We saw it play out the last time we saw this foot against that Nita Cubs team, and the Stu really didn't do a lot against the B. So we'll see if there's a little bit of reparation here from Humble if they can play it better. But the Crow, the Ash, and the Gus going to be banned out. Reply Totem on the other side.
Yeah, so far, comp-wise, this is lining up to be something a bit more traditional, but there's still 4 more picks to go, and a lot of unexpected things can happen by then. Humble have their second pick now, and are going to be going Penny, which I think makes a decent amount of sense. Again, I touched it up a little bit in our quarterfinal matches. Penny has fallen off a little bit. It's still playable. It's still played in a variety of maps, but not nearly with the same amount of success that as it once did get. I feel like against Ruffs, though, it's a great opportunity to get that extra little counter effect against his sandbags, which is pretty much going to force him to either play the other gadget or to be incredibly mindful with how he uses those sandbags.
Yeah, I like the Penny pick, and you know they can always change things around, right? And pivot who's in mid, whether that be Stu, whether that be Penny, depending on who the rest of the brawlers are. But we see the B coming out, and this is almost exactly the same as what we saw from Foot Esports earlier. The B just dealt with that Stu so perfectly, and even when he had speed zones and stuff to tank, if you hit enough shots, there's not a lot the Stu can do if you keep it range and don't feed.
Yeah, I think Penny also is going to have a decent matchup against the B, you know, being very careful about that honey pond, that you can't just place it down. You will get one shot as a B if you do that. So It's an interesting decision to bring the B in right after the Penny, but obviously they should be facing off on different lanes, so not as much of a threat. The Sam is where things get a little bit more unexpected here. We did see a bit of Sam already in the previous set. It worked out quite nicely. Let's see if Reply Totem can play the same kind of Sam once more, as Nita is going to be our final pick for this draft, as Humble irons out their comp. And I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I think it has some good merits here on this map. I don't know if Humble have enough stopping power to shut down that Sam. What do you think?
I agree. We're maybe going to see some stuns coming out of the Nita, and that can work quite well. Salty Barrel in the face and that, but I kind of agree with you. I don't know if they do have the DPS required to bring him down, and regardless, even if you do have the DPS, we saw in the last game, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Sam can just walk through and get the damage done anyway, so we'll see if that's the case here as well. I believe we're maybe going to be seeing this Stu in the mid here and Penny down the lane against the Ruffs, and he is bringing in that Meteor gadget, so not going to have anything to splash through on the side of Tomsy here.
Oh, Maru going for a flank, but through the mid. Interesting. It works out for them as they pick up first blood here. Gem lead also quite firmly in favor of Reply Totem early on, picking up all 4 of the first gems. At last, Humble find one for their own. Maru just trying to eat up some ammo, buy some time, create some space, and find some opportunities. And with the fast movement speed it gets every time he uses his super, it's something he can afford to do quite well. It's quite interesting to see him roaming so much and so swiftly change lanes and change locations.
Yeah, did miss the wall there, and Nita's going to be following up behind him. Used a gadget and didn't really get a lot from it, so the bear's going to be wasted. Not much of a cycle there from Cyclone, but 7-2 is the gem count, and Joker's got 8 of them, but he is low. Luke's coming forward, Honey Molasses to tank. Now he's going to have to pick these up. That's not a good spot for Maru at all. He doesn't want these gems, and you can see he was even considering just going down and trying to drop the gems back to Joker there. But now, Reply Totem, this isn't what they want.
Now this is terrible. He doesn't even have his gloves either. So he's pretty much just a sitting duck at this point, and at last they find a kill, and that is going to be 3 gems for Humble to steal. Countdown locked in, and Reply Totem, they're going to need a miracle to shut him down.
Well, Maru might be that miracle coming forward with his gloves now. Nita better thrown out there, and that's the stun onto him. Joker can't do a lot about that. Gets 2 shots to his face and gets taken down. Maori.
It can't get much worse than that, you know what I mean? As in, like, who picks up those gems? That was rough. That was really, really rough. Not much they could have done from there on. We'll have to see if Reply Totem are able to prevent that sort of situation from happening, because until that point, they were doing really well. They had like a 5-gem lead at that point.
Yeah, well, Humble definitely not off to as good a start this time, but Joker gets double tap there, and Tomsy has an answer to it. Maury's going to now have to pick up these gems, and it kind of seems like Reply Totem can't catch a break with who's got these gems. Obviously, it's better than the Sam. Wall break coming through here as well. Breaks down that and a little bit of the grass as well. Joker has the power up and might need to use that to get these gems returned back to him, or have his teammate go down so he can pick them up.
Luki finds Maru, and that bear is going to take a second to take down, but eventually they will. In the meantime, it is Humble that has all the map control they could ask for. Maru gets some good damage, but he goes down without finding a kill, which means that Reply Totem are struggling to really show much presence across the map. Maru is again low HP. There's just no opportunity for him to shine at this point. And Reply Totem, even though they still are a gem ahead, I don't think that lead is going to last for very long.
Well, now Joker has this slow. Another super veiled from Maury. Maru's actually got his gloves this time as well. Break comes down, and Maru just pushing aggressive, gets him down, gets the bear down here as well. Lovely performance from him. Managed to pick up his knuckle busters yet again. So that's a great thing for him to have. The turret's going to fall as well, and Tomsy not in the best position on this lane. Maru coming back once again with the super, gets it off, gets the speed, gets the heals, and pretty much getting all the work done for Totem.
Yeah, Maru creating so much space. Just look how much space he created for Joker to just be around that mid on the enemy side of the map. But now the countdown is locked in. Beautiful snipe from Joker onto Luke. He probably thought that he'd be out of range or able to dodge that. However, that's not quite going to be the case. Reply Totem pick up that game. Even things out here in Brawl.
Yeah, neither do I. This is a big turning point for the game here. It's either going to be 1-1 or 2-0 to Reply Totem. And you know, they've already reverse swept once, so I don't count them out of doing it. But it is against someone who's just beaten Zeta, so they're top of the game as well. Good shots from Tomsy coming through, though, and does drop those 2 gems that Joker was holding onto the floor. Lukey now trying to go and claim them with this movement that he's going to have with the super, but B is there already and ready to fight.
Tomsy going to be pinched here, but somehow gets out of there. Beautifully done. Good use of his utility, and he's able to win his lane as well. That was an incredible play, to be honest, from Tomsy on the right-hand side. And Humble are building up a gem lead. Kind of the first time out of the 3 games so far that they are able to build a lead early on into the game. But it's looking good for them, and this is exactly what they need.
Yeah, well, the swaps are coming out now as well, so swapping back as Tomsy now over this left-hand side. Turret thrown in his face as well. Maybe a little bit of a waste, but through goes Lukey. Is low and almost get taken down. Maru round the back gets the kill, and just like that, all the gems that Humble were holding drop to Maru. He picks them up, and 13 seconds between Reply Totem and set 2.
Maru was so low HP so many times in that fight, and yet he comes out with a double kill as well as the gems. What an incredible
Totem. I mean, looking at the DPS as well, that was kind of sided towards the Humble guys, but Hot Zone, Open Zone is up next, and it could be the final one that Humble see throughout this monthly finals, and both of these teams desperately need wins at this point.
Certainly so, certainly so. I mean, right now, Reply Totem definitely in the driver's seat, definitely in a favorable position. And making it to the grand finals would be huge for them. They've mostly just lost to Zeta Division this year in monthly finals. Now there's no more Zeta. They've already taken care of them. And this could be Reply Totem's monthly final. The first pick is going to be the Stu, matched by a Gus for Reply Totem. Our bans are going to be Shelly, Max, and Cordelius. On the side of Humble, Reply Totem banned out also Max, and then Crow, and also Shelly, actually. So we have 2 double bans.
Yeah, well, I like the fact that Shelly's double banned, I'll tell you that, but Max, a little bit of a different one. It's kind of been sneaking back in rather than falling off like it did just prior to it. I like the Gus and I like the Amber picks, but Stu as a first, I do question it a little. It is very good, but still. Bonnie going to be the second from Humble here, and we're on to their third now. They're going to go with the B, doubling down on that long range on the last couple of picks. And now it's down to Reply Totem to, as you say, reply to this pick from Humble. And it needs to be a good one. I feel like that B kind of solidified a very good comp for Humble here. And Reply Totem, they're going to need an answer.
I like the B. I like the Bonnie. I mean, good synergy between them, as in the B can counter the Bonnie quite nicely. So I like them being maxed together. We saw a lot of good Pam stuff so far today, so I don't mind the Pam here from Reply Totem. I think comp-wise, personally, Humble's comp is a little bit more my taste. But I don't know if my taste actually means better at winning, you know, it's just more exciting. So, I don't know, what's your take?
No, I actually feel the same way. Like, I genuinely don't know if it's better, but I kind of like the look of it more. I think
exactly.
Reply Totem's comp is good, but if B starts hitting and hitting hard, then it's going to have a bit of a difficult time. Same with Amber, outranged, and Stu can kind of weave in and out of those shots quite nicely as well. So, we'll see if Humble managed to pull through, or if Reply Totem will shut this one off in 3.
All right. So far, Lukey going aggressive in the mid, and it's paying off. They've created a good amount of space. Lukey did get tagged up a little bit. Needs to be careful, especially if a cookie popper comes through. Not so far. So good for Humble. Reply Totem with some more mid presence now as well. Joker low HP. That slow was brutal. He goes down. Tomsy is very low HP as well. It's only Lukey left alive. Can only barely escape with his life, and only survives with 300 HP in the meantime. It's all Totem in the zone, and that's the problem here for Humble. They don't want to give away any free percentages like that.
Yeah, B's hitting some good shots, but at the moment they're just sat in this healing station and it's doing God's work for them as Tomsy's falling low yet again. Might be able to jump in shortly, but actually going to go down. Another healing station available. Honey Molasses gets taken down quickly and Joker's low. Needs to retreat once again into this healing station, but actually choosing to pursue Lukey, and that might be the downfall of him at least. But jump comes in from Tomsy now, and the Scrap Sucker was there, avoided nicely, and a good pinch coming through from Humble now.
Yeah, that was a huge jump from Tomsy. Just created so much space. Finally took care of the healing station. There is another one, but at least Maori is not going to have yet another one ready to just cycle out, as he died quite shortly after placing this one down. Percentage-wise, it's still quite close. The reply totem was just a little bit of an edge. Tomsy gonna get tanked by that gadget as well from Joker. Lukey also low HP. So Humble need to respect it and heal back up. Problem is, in the meantime, reply totem, they extend their lead. Joker gets jumped on, pops his shield. Might still go down. Indeed, Cyclone will find him. Lukey is so low, but eventually falls to Mary. And Tomsy should be able to at least stay in that zone for a little bit longer. But eventually the pinches come through, and Mara and Joker are back in the mid, and Maru will take down Tomsy.
Yeah, Cyclone's so low over the left as well, can't really aggress, and Maru keeping him that way as well. Aggressive healing station from Mori over this right-hand side and puts them pretty much on match point now. 2% needed, and reply totem win this game.
I guess it would be healing station. It provided so much value overall for reply totem, and there's just no answer. I mean, the only way they can take care of it pretty much is either by getting enough kills around it to break it down, but usually, you know, the players are able to survive thanks to that healing station, or if they get a bunny jump in. Now, this original first team fight for Humble is looking excellent. I mean, they just took everyone down, a team wipe really early on into this game. That's going to help them build a massive early lead. Problem is, now that healing station is back, a shield as well onto Maori, and Lukey is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, vertical jump from Tomsy there as well, not going to be the best, but Joker should be able to out-heal this damage coming in. Does get taken down, but there's another healing station available, and we know how much of a difference these things made. Got the super still available, and that oil's going to be down on the floor as well, blocking off this mid portion, or not blocking off, but slowing them down when they go through it. Burn comes down on that home puddle there on Maru, but only 20% down now for the side of Totem, and they're not looking too bad at all.
Healing station's still up and still doing work. Problem is, so is Humble, and they're doing work in the zone. Cyclone has been brutal on that game so far on the beat, but they need to lock this one down. Cyclone taking quite a hit. Tomsy trying to pull a sneaky in the right bushes. Not sure how that's gonna go down for him. As Mari will take him down. Eventually, it's only Lukey that's still standing. He will fall as well, and that means that Mari is going to go now for an aggressive healing station. Try to stay as long as possible in that zone and get reply totem up to par percentage-wise.
Yeah, I mean, that aggressive healing station was needed, but he just didn't have any help to be able to get any of these guys down and stop them from pinching it off. And shield available from Joker, going to use it on himself though, allow Mori to go down, and it doesn't really matter, there's 10% left at this point. I don't think Totem are going to be able to do it in this game. And Humble, they looked so much better just off.
Got a team wipe, all three players surviving, I believe, as well on Humble. And also Cyclone, to me, has been playing much better, just getting so many tags as B, and especially connecting those charge shots, which make so much of a difference. They hurt so bad. Reply Totem, we'll see if they're able to dodge a little bit better this time around.
Yeah, I need to bring this Honey Molasses down. Scrap Sucker came in there for Mori, and now that springs Joker into action. Healing station there, going to tank a couple of shots. Not that many though, only 2 from B, as he did have that 3k to start with. Tomsy going to get the kill on the left-hand side, sorry, and now Pam on the right, just trying to stay alive. Lukey's going to get that gas heal off, and Humble are in a great position again.
Humble was just as much of a lead as they did in the previous game. Eventually, Tomsy does fall. He went for a bit of a risky jump in, didn't quite pay off. Our two players are scarily low, only to fall back and reset just a little bit, but Lukey resets quickly, especially with the Gasso heals. And there you have it, Joker goes down. Maru and Maori getting pinched, and even though they have the healing station, They're working around it much nicer this time around. Eventually, though, this is looking like it's going to be a team wipe in favor of Reply Totem. Even though Luki just stays alive forever, gets in a couple extra percentages. It is Reply Totem with 3 players in the zone now.
Yeah, but they're going to need to hold off for so long if they want to be able to take the win in this set. Cyclone going to throw that 3k out, actually hit Maru there, I believe, as well. And they're getting backed off so fast. Follow up with more shots as well. Cyclone popping off. Maru trying to get the work done on the right, but Joker on the left, not able to connect too many shots. Slow around the right there, but not enough. Healing Station thrown forward, going to tank a few shots, but jump in from Tomsy should bring Pam down, and Luki should be able to do the rest. Does get taken down, 3% needed, but I think they're going to be able to do it.
They should be able to. They should be able to. It would be quite shocking if they don't. It would be a huge missed opportunity because it is match point for Reply Totem. It's getting a bit close now, but they're going to walk in the zone, and eventually they do get it.
Wins are much needed for these guys here. We're heading on to Flaring Phoenix in Knockout. I do quite like this map. It's quite passive. Cordelia snuck through in the last game that we saw on this, and it did pop off so heavily. So I think both of these teams are kind of going to ensure that it's not going to happen again.
I like Flaring Phoenix. It's a bit of a different type of map, I guess. Very bushy middle area, or middle, like on a vertical standpoint, I guess. Like the middle is not that bushy. It's a bit more open. I think you guys got the gist of it. We will have the Squeak first pick from Team Humble. They banned out Cordelius as well as Daryl and Jean. Reply Totem banned out Tick, Shelly, and a double Cordelius ban here. 2 picks in a row now for Reply Totem, and I like the Squeak quite a bit. I think it can just do really well around those bushy areas, and as it is a map with a limited amount of choke points and some pretty annoying unbreakable walls, I feel like it can do well, but what it doesn't necessarily do too well against is hyper aggression, and that's the sort of thing that Reply Totem could bring in with Zatcom. Just play something safe like Bonnie and Gray, but when you want to go in, you have the ability to do that, whether it is with a TP or a jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Reply Totem have got so far. It's very good for the late game, that Grey teleport, where you can get that 1,000 heals. And Bonnie jump in as well. It's always going to be very good against that Squeak, who doesn't have the best burst DPS. Pam, going to be the return pick from Humble, taking a bit of a leaf out of Totem's book from the previous set, but hoping it works a bit better for them. And on this map, I think Pam's good, going to be able to soak up a lot of those hits from Grey and Bonnie alike. But when it's jumped on or TP'd on, it's going to be a little bit difficult, especially that Bonnie jump coming through. But Humble, they have their last pick now. Reply Totem obviously going to be waiting for theirs as well. So we'll see if they're able to pull something smart out of the bag and bring this to set number 5.
Yeah, I'm really curious what they're gonna go for. They'll go Maisie, and Maisie is not in a bad place right now. It's still a brawler that can be a little bit difficult to pull off mechanically. Like, it's just not the easiest to hit your shots and find the most value with. But in the right hands and in the right situations, it can be incredibly deadly.
It can. Brock is what they choose, and I like it. It's going to be able to break up, get rid of a lot of this Maisie's grass that she's going to be able to fly under the radar. But if she can get super, the dash forward, the knockback, it's going to be tough for Bonnie and Grey to teleport or jump onto her. So I don't mind the pick. I just think it's a bit out there in comparison to what we're usually used to from the teams on Flare and Phoenix.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. Do you feel like either team has much of an advantage right now as this comes?
I feel like maybe Reply Totem's comes a little bit better, but that's maybe just because I like Brock quite a lot.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was feeling kind of the same way, to be honest. I just like the ability to just, confirm a kill, whether it's going to be a rocket rain or the fact that they have, well, not only the pulls that Joker is cheerfully teasing right now. He's not quite going to connect it though, but the jump in and the TP, there's just so much abilities. So many abilities for Reply Totem to just confirm a kill. If they get someone low, they have the opportunity to just take him down. Whereas I feel like on the side of Humble, they don't quite have that sort of playstyle available to them.
Yeah, well, nice Walking King going to be used again. Missed once more by Joker. And Cyclone just going to walk through a bit of that Incendiary, take some damage, get scouted out. Yet again does the same, but feeding Joker a little bit this time as well. So they've got to be cautious about giving these supers away. And Tomsy's going to throw a residue down the right hand side to cut that portion of the map off for Joker in the meantime.
Yeah, he's been quite patient. Was just ready to use. I think it's just his first one that he used now, and that is a bit scary. But look at that. Double kill here for Team Humble. It's only Joker left alive and not really a situation he can win it. And even though they don't quite have that same level of explosion on the comp of Humble, they do have a comp that will do really well in the end game. The Maisie is going to be brutal with those unbreakable walls, and Squeak shutting down Joker early on into that fight. That may have been what just secured that first round for them, to be honest, keeping him completely isolated and apart from the other two players. They killed both of them, and then he was left in a 1v3. Let's see, though, if Reply to them are going to allow them to get to the end game once again.
I will say, with a lot of this grass gone, it's going to be harder for them to sneak up and get those shots in. But we might want to see another residue coming out of Tomsy, because as you said, that was a big turning point in that previous round. Luki getting hit pretty hard now, and Maru has that super. So got to be cautious, but obviously has his dash if he needs to avoid something or wants to go forward and gets the knocks out. And now super is there and actually going to connect onto that Bonnie, but not do too much. And I feel like that was a little bit of a waste, I feel.
Cyclone going to be eating that rocket rain to the face, but is that going to be enough? Maru is the jump in to confirm it. It's only Tomsy left alive, and Joker will be there to take him down. That's two supers carried over, I believe, as well for Reply Totem. Not half bad, none for Humble. That is half bad. So things looking not too bad here for Reply Totem.
Yeah, Maru's going to get a connecting shot to Cyclone there and try and get use out of his super again. And I feel like he might be able to if both Tomsy and Cyclone are clumping up on this mid portion, but Luki looking for another super now. Found one shot, maybe two onto Mori, but nothing more. TP available from Joker too, so they need to be cautious of that, specifically Tomsy, I feel.
Humble going to try to maybe get a super or two before the final end game of this first game of Knockout. We need to find some more connections for that. Everything would be valuable though, and Luki will be able to find his. Also does feed into the Bonnie super. They'll have to be careful. There's just a little bit more util available for Reply Totem. Maori not quite committing to that fight against Luki just yet, but a beautiful gadget from Maori locks in that kill. Cyclone in a 1v3, finds one.
Change everything in this one game, and they didn't look bad in that previous one, but once those gadgets were used up on Squeak, it started to look a little bit more bleak. Mario going to instantly go for that breakup of the mid. Leaves a little bit of bush at the front, but Tomsy did get hit by it as well, so maybe he was just aiming for a little bit of a different spot, and Tomsy did tank that one a little bit further up. But Luki needs to work for his super, and I feel like we need a dash towards the enemies and use that super rather than kind of the defensive dashes that it's been used in the past.
Cyclone taking a lot of damage. The pull is not going to connect, though. That would probably have been a guaranteed kill, but they'll get him regardless. That 3-on-2 is very promising for Reply Totem. They find another one. There are opportunities for Humble. They could probably have turned this around, but now it's going to be a little bit late as Tomsy is all by his lonely self, just trying to maybe get a super of his own. Doesn't really care about feeding Maori his super, but especially not when he's in Clyde form. But back to Bunny form. Now Tomsy runs for the gas and gives up for that round. Reply Totem a round away now from making it to the grand finals.
Well, shots coming down, and as you say, just a round away from them in the finals. TP comes forward. Joker feeling confident, gets the kill, but the super might trade out. Actually misses, sadly for them. And then the raining of the super coming down from Maru, stopping Cyclone from following Joker into that position. Luki's got the super though, and that's going to be the thing that can clutch this one up. Cyclone getting some good shots in. Joker's low, does have the TP out if it gets too close though. And both Cyclone and Luki in a bit of a tough spot now, as they need to clutch this 3v2 or it's all over.
They have two supers to work with though. Maze's super will ensure that no one really goes over aggressive against her. Oh, well, never mind. Joker does it, and it pays off. They get the kill. It's only Cyclone, and surely they'll shut him down too. Reply Totem will prevent Humble from getting another reverse sweep today. One is all they'll get, as Reply Totem secure their spot in the grand finals of the July monthly finals. For Humble, the